Okay, my T-Bug friends, I'm really sorry. I really wanted to see you guys, but I had to go back to work for a little while. I'm going to be working for the next 6 weeks, and I have other things coming up as well. So I'm not going to be able to see you. So I made this video up for you guys. First of all, for those that don't know, this is FastFingers, and I've got 4 computers here running FastFingers. 3 Commodore 64s and 1 Commodore 128 running in Commodore 64 mode. Just to give you some ideas of some of the changes I've made. One of the big changes I've made is I'm trying to get this more and more to be for performance. I have on here with the sequencer now, I've split the sequencer up into 16 times 16 sequencers rather than one big 256 note sequencer. Now you have 16 note sequencers. When you start them up as that, normally that sequence would play out, and then when it's done it would stop. Alright? That's a really long sequence. Okay? I could pick a shorter one. Okay, there's a shorter sequence. That will play forever and ever. Alright? And you can change these on the fly. Okay? So that's one of the new things. And let's get up another one. Okay, we have 2 sequencers running now. We're both running at speed 245. And as you can see, one of the other things that's new about FastFingers is this is since FastFingers 1. Now, if you've seen FastFingers 1, but first of all, before you look at this demo, you should have seen my first FastFingers demo on YouTube, done about 4 or 5 years ago. Alright? These are the new things that have been added to FastFingers since version 1. This is called FastFingers 2. As you can see, we had Light Show going up there. Light Show is the other thing that changes the color of the screen. Okay, that's also new for FastFingers 2. Alright? And those are, the colors change with the notes. Different notes, different colors. Alright? I've also created a basic table loader. And the basic table loader is a basic program that you can use to create all kinds of different tables. I decided to do this because there was a guy from England that wanted to program with a PAL computer, and I didn't want to have to, and then he said, on top of that, and he said, and I might like to have A at 432 instead of 440. So, so now I've got this basic table loader. You load it in first, you run it, and then you load in your FastFingers, and your FastFingers will copy the basic tables into FastFingers. And you can play with the basic table loader. Right now it's set up to do multi-timbral. You can do 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 18, 24 divisions per octave. So you can divide. So these keys, of course, are not, a normal keyboard is not going to be able to play some of these things, but they're interesting for electronic music. You might want to use those things. All right. So the basic table loader is extremely creative if you have all kinds of different tunings. Like I said, if you're PAL or NTSC, or if you like 432 for A instead of 440, whatever. distortion now is different than it used to be. Now distortion is based on some of the sounds that come out of the basic table loader. And what it is slight detuning instead. Also, there's instead of loading a bunch of modules, you won't have to use the basic table loader unless you want something far out. I'm going to try to put 4 different versions on each disc, if they'll fit. Like I said, NTSC 440, NTSC 432, PAL 440, and PAL 432. Alright? You can look at the basic source and you can see what it's doing. You can play with it, create your own weird tables if you want, whatever. Alright? Okay, and I might mention here that I fixed all these computers this week. 3 of them had bad memory, and so I was doing that this week to get ready. I had to make up all kinds of special cables and do all kinds of special stuff to do this. And that was one of the other things. Okay, another difference is before on Light Show, where Light Show now sits, the toggle between Light Show or Light Show off, which is the insert delete key or the clear home key. That used to be the Mattel keyboard on and off. We're not using Mattel anymore, and I didn't want to take that Light Show away when I got the MIDI. So what I decided to do was I made MIDI detect automatically. All right. Now I don't have the keyboard set up here for MIDI. Obviously, I have no more room on this table, and also I'm having some problems. The MIDI is only working right now with the 128 because of the size of the board. I'm in the process of designing a new board, and I'll have probably next year I'll have all the 64s connected to MIDI on different channels, and then the demonstration will be with all the 64s connected. I had all kinds of technical problems, all kinds of noise in the lines setting this up today. It took me 3 hours longer than I expected, but here we have it. But anyways, so that's, so MIDI's detected automatically, so you don't have to worry about when you plug a MIDI keyboard in, it sees it. You can shut off MIDI at any time if you get a lock note or anything like that. You can take that off by hitting any of the control keys, Shift or Commodore keys. That you can take that off. The other thing is there's a problem if you're a real keyboard player. If your last finger drags before you hit the next note, if your last finger drags before you hit the next note, what happens is it doesn't play sometimes. Now, if you're playing very fast and used to playing a mono synthesizer, this might operate a little different because of that. It's going to work really good with the. It's going to really work well with the computer controlling it in MIDI, with MIDI sequencer controlling it. But working with a human being playing the keyboard, there might be some problems unless you have really super facility where you completely lift your finger off of each key before hitting the next key. And I've done everything I can with this program, but I don't think I'm going to do anything else with it. The only thing I think I'm going to add to the new version is MIDI channels. Right now, oh, by the way, yes, and MIDI right now has 3 different things. It handles program change, handles MIDI notes, and MIDI velocity as well. That's the other new thing for FastFingers 2. All right. We changed some of the names, and some of the program is a little different. So I'll have to put some changes in the instruction manual. Things like hiss have been changed to noise, N-O-I-Z, and that's another new thing. And hopefully everything works. It was really, like I said, to get all this ancient stuff working, you know, 4 old Commodores, which didn't work at all this week. I actually fixed 2 more. I fixed 6 computers this week. All right, 7 including one of my laptops. So 6 computers not working. So I run into problems here. It's been a while since I used the mixer. I forgot to push a few buttons on it, so none of the sound was going through it. I had, like I said, I had to make cables up for everything just to do this demo. And hopefully the camera works well and continues working well. I'm using another camera to do some other things. And anyways, the only computer that has a display is the 128. I have no display for the other computers. All right? So I wanted to try to make some sort of music, but I don't think it's going to be that easy. It's going to sound like science fiction, but we're going to try anyways. So I'm going to get a couple sequencers going on two of the 64s. So I'm going to work blind on the other 3 computers. Okay? I think we're going to start a sequence up here. Now, also, the other thing is, right now, no longer does FastFingers show a black box or a blue box when it plays a note that's outside the range of the SID chip. Now what it does is just doesn't play a note, so you'll hear gaps. Alright, let's get a different sound. Okay, let's make that one. We're going to make that one continuous. Alright, got that one going. I don't know what's going on over there with that. Okay, as you can see, we got a little bit different setup today, so I can make better music. And I found a bug in the program. I was writing the basic tables, and all the tables were being written in a spot. They were being overwritten by the, what do you call it? They were being overwritten by the recording. So if I hit a recording button by mistake, it would write over the sound tables. That's why we're getting all those weird squeaks and all of that. So you saw the setup. I have a rack here which has all of them on it today. Should make it a little easier to play to a degree. The laptop's over here recording everything. There's the screen. If I don't cover it, you'll be able to see the screen, but it's not important to see the screen for this today. Today what we're doing is we're going to try to make real music with it. We're going to start from the top to the bottom, except we're going to skip. I'm going to try to figure out some some arpeggios that will fit together. And we're going to put lights. It's going. The ideal thing, like I can hardly get at the keys on this shelf. The ideal thing is, of course, a keyboard stand and having all the keys lined up, easy to play. like I said, honestly, I'm not able to monitor all the sounds. I'm only hearing part of them. Next year, hopefully, or this year, hopefully, I'll be able to get the CNC that I want to get, and I'm going to start making my own printed circuit boards. And I'll have a version of this on all of the MIDI interface on all of the Commodores, and I'll be controlling the MIDI sequences from an external sequencer, such as Sonar or Cubase. And then you will hear more musical sounding things. I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing with the 128, which is, like I said, plugging directly into the SID chip. Because right now I think it's either half dead, or I don't know what the problem is. There's more noise than music coming out of that. So, like I said, hopefully next year I'll actually have something to show. I'll probably do a production like this at home first, because this is extremely I can't carry this with me. But I'll do a production. But next year, I promise, it will be more musical. You will enjoy it more. I'll make sure I do some popular music on here. No more Twilight Zone. All right. So